All eyes are on Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke over the next 2 days as he is testifying before Congress. Joining me today is Doreen Mogaver to talk about if we will see any clarity on when the Fed will begin to start scaling back on its stimulus program. So Doreen, over the last few months, we have seen a lot going on with Ben Bernanke. He makes some comments about possibly begin scaling back, and then we see a lot of volatility in the markets, and then he can make another comment about, oh, maybe not so soon, and then we do see market highs with the Dow and the S&P. Do you think over the next 2 days we will gain any clarity over when the Fed may begin to start tapering its program and when interest rates could begin going back to their normal levels?
Well, I think from what I was reading this morning, and I haven't read the whole speech, but from the things that I've been reading, it's very clear that he is going to be very flexible according to the economic data that comes out and what he feels is needed to keep the market propped up. So I think from that point, we have to just continue to think that if things stay on course, he will probably begin to do, as he says, start to taper back by the end of the year. And I think his projections for GDP are somewhere between 2.3 and 2.6% this year, with it going to 3 to 3.5% next year. If that sort of remains the same, we can expect him to begin tapering. If something should change that, obviously, he won't. So, I think he's very headline driven.
Now, the Fed for some time now has liked to talk about they will begin to taper once they see substantial improvement in the labor market. Does anyone really know what they mean when they do say substantial improvement?
No, I think that there had at one point, we'd heard something like 6% is what their target was. I think, I think that it's going to depend, as I say, on all of the economic data collectively. We had some bad housing news today. Things were very much below expectations in terms of housing starts and things like that. So I think, all of that these are the important things: jobs, housing, GDP numbers. Those are the three things I think they're very focused on.
In previous interviews, you and I have talked about how there's this disconnect between the market highs and then the issues in the economic recovery. Is the Fed worried that it might be creating an asset bubble because of its QE program?
Well, I think they certainly must have thought about it. So I think that from that point of view, I think that they are going to be careful not to do that. I think to a great extent we've already done that. But I think that's why I think they talk about it so openly and so transparently, because they want to keep the markets fluid and receptive, really, to any changes that they might make. So I certainly think that would be on their minds, yeah.
And finally, Ben Bernanke's current term expires in January. Do you think that we will see him in another term?
No. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. He may decide that he wants to see this through, because obviously I don't think this is over by January. But I don't think so, no. I think we'll see a new Fed chairman.